So hi, my name is Tirsa Safel and I'm with the Arizona Sustainability Alliance. Today we're here cooking sweet potato tacos with Chef Charlene Badman from the Blue Watermelon Project Chef in the Garden. I'm so excited to be working with all of you, a part of the Sow It Forward Vertical Garden Program at Alhambra Elementary School District, and can't wait to cook tacos with you today.
Hello, my name is Charlene Badman, and today we're going to make sweet potato tacos with a turnip and watermelon radish pickle and a little bit of cilantro on top. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our pickle. That's something we can definitely make ahead. It's something that needs to sit overnight at least, can definitely sit in the refrigerator for up to a month. So the first thing we'll do is we have our pot. We're going to add a little bit of, it's going to be 1 cup of water. So we'll measure out our 1 cup of water, and it'll be equal amounts of acid, and for today we're going to use apple cider vinegar. You can use a rice wine vinegar. Distilled vinegar is fine. It is a little bit more of a peppier vinegar, if you will. So this one I prefer just because it has some sweetness to it, and that's natural sweetness. We are adding some honey to it as well, but this apple cider vinegar brings out a little bit of sweetness, which will balance out the radish and the turnip flavor. So we'll measure out our 1 cup. And then we're going to measure out our spices and our herbs that we want to put in. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of cumin seed. It's that whole seed. 1 teaspoon of coriander seed, beautiful coriander seeds. 1 teaspoon, this is whole black peppercorns. And we have a little bit of Mexican oregano. This is dried. You can find it in a market, no problem at all. It's usually Mexican markets will have it. And I just add a little bit of that in there. And then we want to measure out 3 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of salt. And we're going to add a little bit of honey to it. Just a tablespoon. Kind of bring a little bit balance because we're using the turnip and the radish, and those vegetables can be a little bit on the hot side, kind of spicy side. So this honey will help balance that out. It's that 1 tablespoon of honey that we add to it. We'll go ahead and turn on our flame. It's going to be about medium high. We're wanting to bring this to a boil, and we're wanting to make sure that the honey is dissolved. And also all of those aromatics kind of open up and flavor our vinegar. Okay, from here you can see it's come up to a boil. All that honey is definitely dissolved, ready to go. We've infused those spices. So we'll go ahead and turn it off. We'll set it aside, and we'll go ahead and start cutting up our vegetables so we can pour it right over the top. So for our pickle today, we're going to do 1 cup of each of the vegetables. 1 cup of watermelon radish and 1 cup of turnip. And we give these a nice even slice, but I want to say how much I love watermelon radishes. Super gorgeous, this pinky sort of thing going on, then the green on the outside, and you can see just from slicing it how it gets its name. And do make sure again that you have some adult supervision because you are using a knife. We'll just do some nice slices. Keeping those fingers back, especially that thumb. That thumb likes to get out in front, and you don't want to cut your thumbs. You don't want to cut your fingers. So just being really mindful of where your hands are and slicing. That's why it's a watermelon radish. And then for the turnip, again in half. This is nice and white inside. Also really kind of on the peppery side. The turnips are really delicious. And you can see I'm not peeling these either. I just gave them a quick little rinse. Made sure there wasn't any dirt, like especially in that stem area. And with these, I think because of our pickle, we'll go ahead and cut them in half. So we have them in quarters. And then add that. You have all your little add-ins. We are using cilantro today. I want to make sure that we We use all of the parts. So while we're using the leaves for the top of our taco, we're going to be left with these stems. And these stems have really a lot of delicious flavor. So I want to be able to take these stems and you can just cut them. And we're just really looking for the flavor. So I'm just going to put them right in there so we don't waste. Make sure we're using all the parts, everything possible. Then we'll add our little bit of chili in there. You don't have to, this is optional, but you want a little bit of heat, put a little bit of chili in there. This is a serrano. You could add a jalapeno. Super hot, you can go for that habanero. You can also just put in a whatever you like, whatever you have around. And we're going to carefully add our liquid right into here, into our jar. We want to make sure we got all those beautiful flavors. When we get to a low enough point, we can just pour in what's left. Then either a lid or plastic top or whatever you have. Move it to the side. Look at all that. How beautiful that is. The next part that we're going to do is make our filling for our potato, which is pretty simple. It's going to be the sweet potato, but we want to make sure that it has a lot of flavor and really tastes delicious and has really showcases that sweetness. So my preference for this is to use completely the stovetop for everything. We use the stovetop to make the pickle, use the stovetop again to cook our potato. We're going to boil it just like you would if you're making, like, say, mashed potatoes or you're making a potato salad. Pot of water, a little bit of salt. Season our water there and add the potato. So we just put the potato right in, bring it up to a boil. I can't really tell you exactly how long it's going to take to cook. It really just depends on the size, and sweet potatoes come in all different kinds of sizes. You have the one I just put in there, you maybe a longer, thinner one, smaller little guys like this. So you just have to keep testing it, and the best thing you can do is take a knife. Again, this is where you'd have that adult supervision, and just poke it right inside. Right now you can't poke it at all, but as soon as these come up to a boil, 15-20 minutes, you're going to be able to poke it. When you're able to go all the way through the potato and it slides right out, it doesn't stick, because like right here, if I did this, I'm pulling the potato right out. That is obviously a raw potato. I would start testing it, considering the size, at about 15 minutes. And when you're able to pierce it all the way through, it's going to be finished. You'll be able to go all the way through. You're going to know that it's done. So we have our potato that we have had cooking now for about 20 minutes. And it is ready to go. I can pierce it all the way through. We'll shut our water off, let that kind of cool down maybe just a little bit, just stop boiling, and we'll put them right onto a tray, let them dry. So for your next step, you'll have your potato. We'll go ahead and give it a few slices. I'm going about a 1/2 inch thick. Beautiful sweet potato. So I wanted to point out, I left the skin on because it has fiber for you. It's just good for you, and you don't want to peel it off. And I think it also kind of like holds it all together, doesn't let as much water get in there. You're exposing all of that, and we want to make sure it's nice and dry because we're going to get ready to give it a nice sear on a. You can use a plancha, you can use a non-stick pan, whatever you have should be fine, as long as it's hot when you start. I go like medium-high heat. And you don't want to add it too soon or it'll stick. You have all these open pieces because we're going to put them flat down. You're going to want to use a neutral oil. This is an avocado oil, but a canola oil, corn oil, those are all fine. And a sizzle's a good thing. Sizzle means it's hot. Right now we're just looking to get some nice brown on them, even a little darker with those sugars. But we want to get that caramelization so that we can intensify the flavor. And the other thing is just not touching it too much. We're going to make sure we season it. We want to season as we're going along. A little bit of salt, a little pepper, Look at that color. Nice color on there. You don't want it to dry out too much. You may end up adding a little bit more oil to it. Leaving plenty of space for everybody. Lots of room. Caramelizing nicely. Everybody's got some good color. We're ready to go. We can start putting our tacos together. For the next step, we're gonna just kind of warm up our tortillas. I'm using a corn tortilla. It's a little 4-inch, guys. You can use a 6-inch. You can also use a flour tortilla. Just my preference, but do whatever you'd like. We're gonna warm them up though, kind of just refresh them. Give them a little kiss on either side. Soften them up. And then we have our sweet potatoes. I'm just going to cut these in half because our tortillas are a little on the smaller side. And we're going to put our pieces, our sweet potato, a little layer of that. Then we're going to put our pickle on top. Of course, I love pickles. Eat them all the time. Big fan. I'm going to put extra on there. And then my favorite salsa that either when I'm making a sweet potato taco or a regular potato taco, I'm a fan of the tomatillo. So, because it has nice tart flavors. So I'm going to put a little bit of salsa on there. And then also, I think a little cheese is nice. I'm using the cotija cheese, similar to, say, to like a American Parmesan. Has a really nice salty, hard cheese. I'm going to add a little more spice, so throw on a jalapeno. You do have some of those pickled into your pickle though, so you can always grab those. Just kind of get that cilantro. We use those stems in our pickle, and then you have your taco. You're ready to go. Good luck. Enjoy. It's going to be delicious. All of those great combinations of flavors and textures, and you definitely don't want to miss this.